in social work. Let me share my slide with you. Can you see my slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So let's just continue. Like I said, it is a summary of all that we need to know. Peradventure, some of us are not from the social work background. When you talk about knowledge, it is progressive. Having the knowledge of something grants you the understanding. What you know, you will know how to understand, you know how to handle it. That gives you understanding. And that will inform your skills. Your understanding of it will now inform your skills, will help in your skills. So we talk about knowledge, understanding, and skills in social work. So that's why I said it is more or less a summary of everything in social work. So looking at it, we said social work is a dynamic and demanding profession, meaning that it is not a profession for lazy people. It is a dynamic, meaning that social work is not static. Social work is dynamic. Those who started the profession did not do it the way it's being done today. Not that we've deviated, but we've advanced in what they started. So that is why we said it is dynamic. And it's also demanding. It requires a variety of skills and qualities to ensure quality service delivery in social work. Professionals need to possess a comprehensive understanding and specific skills. Before you can dabble into it, you need to arm yourself with some skills, understanding what do I do in this situation? What do I do in that situation? If it changes, what do I do? So you need to arm yourself with some skills, some understanding. Whether these skills are innate or acquired. Success in the field requires social workers to continually develop them throughout the lifetime of their career. You can't tell us that it was in the beginning, it's now. It is not about social work. Even what you have learned, you still need to continue to learn. Continuous learning. So you continue to fan it. Continue to fan the ember. Because if you stop fanning it, the fire will go out completely. So it is required of you, if you want to be successful, to continually develop them throughout the lifetime of their career as social workers. Here are some key areas of knowledge and skills that are important in social work. First, there is knowledge of the social system. As a social worker, you need to understand the social system in which you find yourself. The social system that is obtainable or that is in practice where you find yourself. You need to understand this family system. You need to understand the community You need to understand the organization. You need to understand the society. If you find yourself in a matriarchy society where power belongs to women, it's not the same thing as when power belongs to men, like where we practice patriarchy in Nigeria. Anywhere they are practicing matriarchy, they also practice matrilocal system. Anywhere they practice matriarchy and matrilocal, then they will also practice matrilineal, which is against what we practice in Nigeria, patriarchy, patrilineal, and patrilocal. What do I mean by that? Patriarchy means power belongs to men. Matriarchy means power belongs to women. Patrilineal means that you trace your lineage to your father, while matrilineal means that you trace your lineage to your mother. Patrilocal means that you dwell in your husband's house, in the area of your husband. Matrilineal means that you move into your wife. And that is what they practice among the Ashanti in Ghana. So you need to understand the type of family system they practice. You need to understand the communities, the structure that is in existence in that community. The work can take you out of your community. Then you need to understand the type of community where you find yourself. You need to understand the religious system. If you find yourself in the north, where every decision is taken by the husband, you need to understand. Because such place, if a woman gets to the hospital and there is no female, what's it called, nurse to attend to such woman, she go back home. If there's no female midwife on duty and she's in labor, she will go back home. You must understand that is part of their religion, that another man must not see their nakedness. Then you must know, if you are invited as a social worker, you get it. So you need to understand the social system. This knowledge helps them, the social workers, comprehend the complex interactions and influence that impact individuals and communities. The next skills you are talking about, or knowledge you are talking about, is human behavior and development. Social workers should have knowledge of human behavior and development across the lifespan. What do we mean? The way a child would behave is not the same way a teenager will behave. It's not the same way you should expect an adolescent to behave. It's not the same way you should expect an adult to behave. It's not the same way you should expect aged people to behave. At different lifespan, we need to understand these behaviors. When they get back to that 80, 70, you should know how to relate to them. So you need to have the understanding of these developmental stages in human life. Social workers should have knowledge of human behavior and development across the lifespan. This understanding allows them to assess and address the unique needs and challenges of their clients at different stages of life. Before I proceed, is there anyone you didn't understand or you want me to come back to?
You can proceed.
Okay, thank you. The third one is social welfare policy and resources. A social worker needs to have knowledge of the welfare policy that is available where he or she is working. Why? This will help you to make referral, to refer your client to where they can get assistance. You can't tell your client, I learned that there is a body, but I don't know where they are. I don't have the address. You are not doing your job well. Social workers need to be knowledgeable about social welfare policies and the available community resources. You must understand the policy that is in place so that you not shoot yourself and your client in the leg. What are the policies? Children policy, marital policy. Because we are not practicing them in Nigeria does not mean they don't exist. Because the state might be used against you if you contravene any one of them. So you must understand the social welfare policy that's in place and the resources that are available. This will help you and help your clients. This knowledge enables them to advocate for their clients and connect them with appropriate service and support. The next one there is assessment and intervention skills. You know, when you have a case, after you have done the first clerking, then the next thing is to assess. After assessment, then we talk of intervention. If you don't assess, if you don't clerk, take the necessary data about your clients, then you listen, you assess your client, what brought you here? Then you talk about intervention. What intervention skill do we need to apply? So as a social worker, you need all this. Social workers need strong assessment skills to gather comprehensive information about their client's need. You must know how to probe to get the necessary information that will help you succeed and that will help your clients achieve their aims. It also helps strengthen, let me take it again, that social workers need strong assessment skills to gather comprehensive information about their clients' needs, their strengths, and also their circumstances. In the course of you assessing your client, you will know where their strength lies. And this will help you to know what to ask them, or this will also determine the kind of intervention you are going to give to them. So it is needed. They also require intervention skills to develop and implement effective strategies and interventions to address their needs. Then the next one there is communication and engagement. Communication is key. Very, very important. Communication, you know, communication is two ways. You receive, you process, then you respond. You receive, you process, then you respond. You don't just respond without processing. Effective communication skills are essential for social workers to build a relationship with clients, establish trust, and facilitate meaningful conversations. They should be able to listen actively. In fact, listening is also a key. It's a skill. They should be able to listen actively, empathize. That's talk about empathy, not sympathy. Empathize and convey information in a clear and respectful manner. I always tell my students, social workers are not proud and they are not rude. Even if what you are going to say is not what your client is expecting, you must still say it respectfully. You still have to say it respectfully. You don't just talk to your client because he has problem. That's why I came to you. So you don't need to compound that problem. Number 6, we talk about cultural competence. That you are not born in the West or in the north, or in the east. If you find yourself there, you need to understand their culture. It is very, very important. Social workers need to be culturally competent and sensitive to the diversity of their client's background and experience. Cultural competence involves understanding and respecting different cultural beliefs. You don't judge your client based on your own culture. Meaning that you don't use your own culture as a yardstick for your client. You must understand them. You are not expected to be ethnocentric. Don't allow ethnocentrism when you are dealing with clients from different cultural backgrounds. Cultural competence involves understanding and respecting different cultural beliefs, values, and practices, and being able to work effectively with diverse population. Even if you are there, wherever you are, you cannot determine different clients that will come to you from different cultural background. If you are there in the West, does that mean that you don't have Igbo and Hausa in the West? If you are there in the East, does that mean you don't have Hausa and Yoruba in the East? If you are there in the North, does that mean you don't have the Igbos and Yoruba in the North? So that's why you need to be vast too. Try to learn one or two things about other culture that is not yours. Try to learn their language, their greetings. You know, even when somebody from the other culture comes into your office and you greet the person with his language, in fact, you have given that person a welcome, address to feel comfortable. It shows that you don't have any cultural bias. So that will help you to succeed in your work in different sections you are going to have with your clients. Then the other one, number 7, is ethical practice. There are ethical consideration, ethics for every profession. And you need to know it. The ethics that is guiding your profession. You must make sure that you don't go against it. You don't go against it. And I want to tell you here that this profession is client-centered. Social work is client-centered. You do everything possible for your client. It is client-centered. And that is what the ethics says. Social workers must have a solid understanding of ethical principles and values. They should be able to navigate ethical dilemma, maintain confidentiality. That is part of the ethics of the profession. Not that when you have a section with your clients, that will be the example you will be giving when you are discussing with a friend or at home. Because you don't know who knows who. The person you are discussing with might be the neighbor or family or the person who came to your office. So confidentiality is key. And they have to adhere to professional codes of conduct. Number 8, case management and advocacy. You must know how to manage cases. You must know how to tidy up your files. You must know where you stop. It's not the day that you're expecting your client to be looking for the client's file. Or if you have to go to court, that's when you'll be looking for your client file. Or when you're going for a visit, that's when you'll be looking for your client file. No. Even after a day with your client, you still need to go through the files of your client to still understand what transpired by your client. What is not working, please?
Oh, not you, sir. Sorry.
Please mute your mic then. Thank you. So social workers often need to engage in case management activities, including coordinating services, collaborating with other professionals, and advocating for their clients' rights and needs. Is there any area you want me to shed more light on? I can proceed.
Proceed, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. The next one there is crisis intervention and trauma informed practice. How do you handle trauma informed crisis? Like a child that has just been raped, or like when you have issue with a partner violence, intimate partner violence, IPV. How do you handle such trauma? How do you involve in such intervention? What kind of intervention are you going to, recommend or you are going to use? Social workers should be equipped with skills to respond effectively in crisis situations and provide trauma-informed care. Training in crisis intervention helps them support individuals and communities during emergencies or traumatic events. You must know the first thing to do. A child that was raped, the first thing to do, get his register in the hospital, in the police station, then involve the medical aspect of it. That is talking about collaboration. You are a social worker already, you have involved two other professions, the medical, the security. You can see, don't say you want to handle everything by yourself, you collaborate. That is what this field is all about. So you know what to do at every situation. The situation of rape is not the same thing with the situation of, what was it called? Intimate partner violence, IPV. So you should know what to do at every point in time. Number 10, talk about reflective practice and self-care. I always tell my students that if you don't take care of yourself and you're unable to continue, the assignment will be given to somebody else to continue. It's like you have a horse and you have a message. If the horse should die, the message will be given to somebody else. And the horse in this case is you. And the message here is what you are doing. If you don't take care of yourself, God forbid, and anything happens, that client you are handling will be transferred to another social worker to continue with. So being a social worker can be emotionally and mentally demanding. Professional need skills in reflective practice. Think of what you have done in the past, go through your records, see what happened in the similar cases, you reflect. So skills in reflective practice to regularly evaluate and learn from their experiences. You look at the past cases you have handled, because that is what they call experience anyway. If you have not engaged in any activities, you can't say you have experience. You can't say you have experience. So experience is based on what you have done. And you go through it, you look at the pitfalls you have, you've experienced and how you're able to navigate it. So in a similar case that you are handling, you will not fall into such pitfalls again. You will not fall into such again because you are using reflective practice. You are doing reflective practice on what you have done in the past. They should also practice self-care to prevent burnout and enhance their own well-being. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Then the next one is continuous learning. You don't stop. You don't stop learning. Even after you might have retired where you are still serving your community. So you don't stop learning. Continuous learning and professional development. Thank God for the C-ISOWN. In different states, we have local and regional conferences in every year. And the last one we do is the international conference, which is an avenue for all of us to come together and learn the new trending ways of doing things in the profession. You can't stay away and think that you are learning on your own, because what you are holding on to might be obsolete and you are still holding on to it. So continuous learning and professional development are crucial in social work, as new research interventions and practice models continually emerge. By continually expanding their knowledge and owning their skills, social workers can provide the highest quality service to their clients. So that is 10 there. I don't know if there's anyone you did not understand. So this is just the list. Characteristics and skills of successful social workers. Characteristics and skills of successful social workers. Number one, there is empathy. Can somebody just tell us what he or she understands by empathy? Anybody? Empathy.
That means, as a social worker, you consider your clients, you consider yourself, put yourself in the shoe of your clients, that you put yourself in that position that that person is undergoing.
Correct. The word empathy was established by a sociologist, which simply means put yourself in the position of that person. Then you will understand better. If you are thinking that somebody who is homeless is overreacting, then make yourself homeless and see if you not do beyond that. So by putting yourself in other people's position, you will treat them better. So empathy is putting yourself in other people's position so that you can understand why they are behaving the way they are behaving. Thank you. Another skill there is communication, organization, critical thinking, active listening, self-care, cultural competence, patience, professional commitment, advocacy, objectivity, persistence, flexibility, resilience, and drive. Remember, the title of the course is Knowledge, Understanding, and Skills. So these are all that we need to know. We need to understand them. So we look at them one after the other. We look at all these one after the other. Like she rightly said, Empathy is the ability to identify with and understand another person's experience and point of view. According to National Association of Social Workers, define it as the act of perceiving, understanding, experiencing, and responding to the emotional state and ideas of another person. It can also be said to be stepping into someone else's shoes. That is putting yourself in the position of another person and recognizing that experiences, perceptions, and worldviews are unique to each individual, enable social workers to better understand and build stronger relationship with clients. Knowing that there are unique experiences for individuals that will help you. Please mute your mic, Madam Omona. So like I said, yeah, please mute your mic.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So we said this will help them to know that every individual has unique experience. Even if they have the same situation, they are not experiencing it the same way. So every individual needs different approach or approaches to attend to them. The same way, people are not going to handle the similar cases or the same cases the same way. So you can't say the method used for A is what we are going to use for B, because they have different emotional strength. They have different physical strength. So you can't treat them the same way. So that's why empathy is very, very important. It is a vital skill that helps social workers to determine a client's needs based on his or her unique experiences in order to efficiently provide services. You just have to understand that. Then the next one is communication. Like I said, it is a very germane skill that every social worker must get. Communication skill. You must communicate with your client in a very simple way that whatever you are saying will be understood by your client. Then you must also understand the levels of your clients, either the academic levels. We cannot be having a session with someone who is not educated and you are using all your zim, and logies. You need to understand the background of your client. Because if you are just talking and your client is not, grabbing what you are saying, you are just wasting your time. So communication, both verbal and non-verbal, is a vital skill for social workers. The ability to communicate clearly with a wide range of people is essential. It is the duty of the social workers to advocate for their client. That is your responsibility. Even if your client is guilty, you still advocate for. You still advocate for your client. Though my client is guilty, but we are pleading that the punishment should be reduced. You are still advocating. There is no one you cannot advocate for as a social worker. You advocate for. And to do this, you must be in a clear term and, in terms of communication with your client. This will enable you to know their needs. This will enable you to understand their needs. Is it the duty of social workers to advocate for their clients? In order to do this, social workers must understand the client's needs. In addition to being cognizant of body language and other non-verbal cues. This means communicating appropriately and effectively with clients, regardless of cultural background, age, gender, literacy, skills level, or disability. Irrespective of this, you must find ways to communicate with your clients. Because if you cannot, the essence of you having a session with that client is fruitless. It's not going to yield anything. It's not going to yield any positive result. So you must find a way to communicate with your clients, irrespective of their cultural background, age, gender, literacy skills level, or disability. Social workers must also communicate with care providers, colleagues, and agencies, because maybe you need to provide resources, referral. You still need to talk with people in other agencies. You still need to communicate with your clients, with your colleagues. You still need to communicate with care provider. Yes. So you need to really have good communication skills and must document and report information in a clear manner. As a social worker, your documentation must be clear. Then the next one is organization. Not that you'll be looking for a file. Once they mention so case, you just go straight to where it is. That shows your level of organization. Social workers have busy schedule and a wide range of responsibilities in addition to managing and supporting multiple clients, including documentation, reporting, billing, and collaboration. This requires social workers to be very organized and able to prioritize clients' needs in order to effectively manage cases. Disorganization and poor time management could cause a social worker to overlook a client's need and result in negative outcome. So you must be organized. The next one is critical thinking. You must know how to task your brain. Even when somebody says something, you must be able to, assess it. Do critical thinking, critical assessment. You get it? Critical thinking is the ability to analyze information gathered from unbiased observation and communication. Unbiased analysis of the information you have gotten. In this profession, you need to put aside your personal values. That you are a Christian does not stop you from handling the case of a Muslim with unbiased mind. If you find yourself in a country where the issue of homosexuality has been approved, is permitted by their law, you have to handle such case without bias. Don't say, all these lesbians. No. You find yourself in that community. If you know you're not going to serve those people, then you leave that community or you stop practicing social work. So you must be ready to serve everybody from different background in that society you find yourself. If you leave that society and come back to Nigeria, and anybody comes to your office and say he's a gay, you may decide not to attend to that person. Because Nigerian law is not in support of homosexuality. So that's just that. So talk about critical thinking. Social workers must be able to objectively evaluate, take away your own personal belief, take away your personal values, and look at the case critically without any personal attachment. So we must be able to objectively evaluate each case by collecting information through observation, interviews, and research. Thinking critically and without prejudice enables social workers to make informed decisions, identify the best resources, and formulate the best plan to help clients. Like I said before now, that active listening is also a skill rather. Active listening is necessary for social workers to understand and identify a client's needs. Not that you interrupt your clients when they are talking. That's why we talk about active listening. Maybe once in a while you just interject. You mean it? Is that so? That shows that you are following. But not that you just interject, not that you just interrupt your client. Allow them to pour out their mind. From there, you are also having your own assessment. Concentrating, asking the right questions, and utilizing techniques such as paraphrasing and summarizing also help social workers to engage and establish trust with clients. The next one is self-care. We talked about that before now. Self-care. Social work can be demanding, like we said earlier, and emotionally stressful. So it is important to understand in activities that help you to maintain a healthy work-life balance. It's important to engage in activities that help you to maintain a healthy work-life balance. And your work. Marcus, please mute your mic. The sound of your door is affecting us here. Thank you. So as a social worker, you must know how to balance work and life. Self-care refers to practices that help to reduce stress and improve health and well-being. Engaging in these practices help to prevent burnout and compassion fatigue. And that's what we call compassion fatigue. As a social worker, you want to say no. You must know when to tell your clients, no, we continue tomorrow. So you don't die of compassion fatigue. You are showing compassion and you are killing yourself. We continue tomorrow. Let's meet tomorrow by 8 o'clock. So let's stop it here. So it prevents both burnout and compassion fatigue, and is crucial to having a sustainable career. By taking the time to care for themselves, social workers are better able to provide the best practices for their clients. Can I still continue, or is there any area we want me to explain more?
Go ahead, sir.
Continue, sir.
Okay, thank you. The next one is cultural competence. Working effectively with clients from diverse backgrounds requires social workers to be respectful and responsive to cultural beliefs and practices. Social workers must be knowledgeable and respectful of other clients' cultural background and must, as stated by the National Association of Social Workers, examine their own cultural background and identifies why seeking out the necessary knowledge, skills, and values that can enhance the delivery of services to people with varying cultural experiences associated with their race, ethnicity, gender, class, sexual orientation, like I mentioned the other time. Somebody might tell you, I'm a transgender, I'm gay, I'm lesbian, irrespective of their sexual orientation, their religion, age, or disability. Possessing a non-judgmental attitude and an appreciation for diversity and the values of individual differences enable social workers to provide clients with what they need. The next one there is patient. Social workers encounter an array of circumstances and individuals in their work. It is important to have patience to work through complex cases and with clients who need longer period of time to make progress. Like I said the other time, even if you have two clients who have the same problems, both of them will not require the same time, will not require the same approach. So there are some cases that will not take time and you solve them, and that's all. Your clients go back rejoicing. And there are some cases as a social worker that you have to spend time and have several sessions before you can get to the root of the problem and provide solution, for your clients. So you need to take patience when it is needed. This empowers social workers to understand the client situation and avoid hasty decision making. If you don't get to the root and you just conclude, that is hasty decision making, this will cost you your reputation as a social worker, and this will also cost your client. So you must know when to spend time to avoid hasty decision making and frustration that can lead to costly errors and poor outcomes for the client. You may be thinking that it's only the client that will have poor outcome, but you have also put a dent on your own career too. Because when somebody is coming to you, they say, don't go for that social worker. Tell them you want somebody else. And when people are rejecting your agency, there'll be a question mark, there'll be a question from your boss. Why is it that everyone is rejecting you whenever we send their file to your office? So it is not only your client, it is also for your own career. The next one is professional commitment. Like we said, you are to commit yourself to continuous learning. That is professional commitment. Being successful in social work requires a lifelong learning. Social workers must have a professional commitment to social work values and ethics, and to continuously developing professional competence. This commitment is necessary for fulfilling the mission of social workers. What is the mission of social workers? To enhance human well-being and help meet the basic human needs of all people, with particular attention to the needs and empowerment of people who are vulnerable, oppressed, and living in poverty. The next one is advocacy. When you are talking about advocacy, you can advocate for and you can advocate against. Advocacy can either be for or against. Any practice that is dehumanizing, you advocate against such practice. And anything that you think that it is good, you advocate for such thing. So as a social worker, you advocate for and you advocate against. You can advocate against child marriage because many of them end up with BPF, Vesco Vaginal Fistula. Many young girls, they end up with BPF. And after that, they be abandoned. So you can advocate against, and you can as well advocate for. Then the next one is objectivity as against subjectivity. Can anybody tell us the difference between objectivity and subjectivity? Objectivity and subjectivity. Is there any difference between the two? Anybody? Hello?
Hi, sir.
Okay. I copy Fatima.
When we are in the aspect of objectivity, that means as a social worker, we do something without being sentimental.
That is being objective.
Yes, sir.
Then subjectivity is what? When you are being sentimental.
One is being sentimental. When one is having the trait of being sentimental.
Okay, thank you, madam.
Doing things. Yes, sir.
You just hit the nail on the head. When you are being objective, you remove your personal value. You remove your personal interest. You say it the way it is, even if you are dealing with your enemy. You are not saying, okay, this is time for me to repay. This is not the time for me to pay back. This is a payback time. You just remain objective. You do your work as professional as you are. So that is being objective. You attach your own sentiment to it, personal sentiment to it. So social workers witness the most vulnerable people in society requiring desperate help. However, while remaining empathetic, it is crucial to stay impartial and make appropriate and informed decisions. Don't allow sentiment to make you do what is not professional. You just need to remind yourself, no matter how I'm feeling, I must remain professional. No matter how close the person is to me, I must remain professional. So that is being objective, not allowing personal value to push you to do otherwise. The number 12 there is persistence. Serving people in complicated relationships and environment requires patience and persistence. Setbacks are inevitable. The persistent social worker remains focused, sets an example, and tries alternative approaches. You don't just back out. You don't just back out. I think I can't do anything again. No. Try another option. Yes, the environment you are is not friendly. But you don't just back out. Try alternatives, make consultation with colleagues, just to make sure that we arrive at a successful end. So persistence is needed. Then the next one is flexibility. Flexibility. No 2 days are the same. No 2 days are the same as a social worker. There are some days you close very early. There are some days you may need to give extra 1 hour or 2 hours. So you don't say it is 8 to 4. You may be handling some cases that you need to conclude that day. So it may require extra 1 hour or 2 hours from you. At times you may need to come earlier than usual. So we said there are no 2 days are the same in social work. Problems are frequently unexpected and do not follow a typical 9 to 5 schedule. I resume 9, I close 5. Solving difficult situations will often involve dealing with other agencies and supporting families in their need outside regular hours. So once in a while, we should prepare for that. At least you should be flexible, not rigid. I resume 9, I close 6, I close 5. I resume 8, I close 4. Nothing will make me remain in this office a minute after 4. So please be flexible as a social worker. Don't be rigid. We are talking about knowledge, understanding, and skills in social work. Then the next one we are looking at is resilience. Resilience, drive, time management. Then we look at interviewing. Resilience, to avoid burnout, social workers will need to learn coping mechanisms and know when to say no. You need to learn coping mechanisms, coping strategies. Then you need to know when to say no. Some have died because they didn't know how to say no. So as a social worker, you need to know when to say no. Resilience helps to bounce back from challenging and emotionally draining days to face the next client and tomorrow. So you must know when to say no. You must know coping mechanisms. Maybe after a while, from 8 you resume in the morning, you must know when to take a brief break. Not that you sit down from 8 to 4 when you be closing. You must know when to, take a walk, rest yourself, take a break, eat, exercise yourself while you're in the office. So that will help you and keep you stronger. Then you talk about drive. Talk about motivation. What is the drive? Social work can be highly satisfying and rewarding. Helping people who need it the most requires individuals to learn new skills and be motivated to be their best. So that is where motivation comes in. What motivates you? And of a truth, the agencies you work with must also know how to motivate. Because if you look at motivation theories, and you look at Maslow hierarchy of need, every individual has need or needs. Starting from the bottom, physiological needs, talk about security needs, social needs. We talk about, I think the highest of them all at the peak is self-actualization needs. So everybody has needs. So the agency we work with should know what or how to motivate their social workers who are working with them. While maintaining self-care, a driven social worker commits to providing the best service to their clients. That's when you are being motivated. Some people, they say, what is giving motivation is seeing the people and putting smiles on their face. Yes, but it is true. You are not going to eat that smile. So there must be something also motivating you, apart from you accomplishing such feats. Then the next one is time management. Time management. While an essential quality, it is also teachable. You know, it's not everybody that knows it, but we can also teach it. We can also learn it. It's also a teachable skill. Social workers typically have too little time in the day to complete their work. As a result, they must find ways to allocate the right amount of time to the task they face, because you don't have eternity to just handle a case. So you must time yourself, or when you as a boss, you are giving an assignment to a junior colleague, said, I'm expecting it in the next 1 hour, or you ask, when should I be expecting it? Get the time from the person. If the time given to you is too long, say, no, I can't wait till that. So that is teaching time management. You are teaching time management. So, and you yourself who is teaching time management, you must know how to manage your own time too, because you don't have eternity, you know, to handle just a case. Then the next one there is interview. Can I still proceed? Or is there anyone you want me to go back to?
Proceed, sir.
Proceed, sir.
Does that mean everything I'm saying is just like that? You are picking it?
So you are taking your time to explain, and your explanation is very clear and understanding.
Your explanation is clear, sir.
It's clear and understanding.
Oh my God.
You can proceed, sir.
Oh my God. Thank you very much.
You're welcome,
So
sir.
the next one is interviewing. Interviewing is an essential skill in social work. For those of us who are running away from research, God don't catch you. You must know how to interview. And it's not only one way. There are different ways of conducting your interview. In fact, there's what we call structured interview. There's what we call unstructured interview. When you're talking about structured interview, it simply means you have your question listed. Question interview is seen as a quantitative method of gathering data. It is very similar to questionnaire. The only difference between structured interview and questionnaire is that questionnaire, you just administer the questionnaire, somebody fill it. But structured interview is that the same set of questions, the same way it's been arranged, it's how you are going to ask the question. It is structured. You cannot jump one and go to two. You follow the way it is. That's what I mean by structure. So you have structured interview. Then there is what we call unstructured interview. Structured interview doesn't take time. And when you are conducting structured interview, you have combination of open-ended questions and closed-ended questions. Open-ended questions are questions that give room to your respondent to give explanation. That's why it is called open-ended. The interviewee will be given room to explain, especially questions that have to do with how and why. Those are the questions that require explanation. So they have both closed-ended and open-ended questions. Closed-ended questions are such questions that doesn't give room to your client to explain. The answers are provided even there. For example, religion. The answers are there. Maybe the answers you provided are Christianity, Islam, traditional, and others. Your clients cannot go outside the four. That is what we mean by close-ended. But had it been that question is not close-ended, then your respondent will not be giving explanation of his own or her own kind of religion. So in interview, you have close-ended questions. That is structured interview. You have close-ended and you have open-ended. So let's look at it. Interviewing is an essential skill in social work. Social workers can learn techniques to improve information gathering through the use of multiple question types that can be tailored and used across many situations, including open-ended questions or open questions, can help the service users feel listening to. So it is open questions, so they will express themselves, they feel listening to, they continue to talk. That's why it is called open questions. Then we have closed-ended questions, useful when only a short answer is required to confirm yes or no. So the answer to closed-ended question can be yes, no. That is what we mean by closed-ended. Then you can as well have indirect questions. You can as well have indirect questions in order to get more information from your clients. You are not asking the question directly. It can be helpful to phrase questions as sentences, providing flexibility in the length or type of response. It's indirectly. You are just asking the questions. Then we have probing questions that will help you to get more information. You keep probing. You keep probing because you've not gotten what you wanted. Elicit more concrete answers and greater details. That's what you use our probing questions to do. Then you can also have hypothetical questions, valuable for encouraging the client to think positively about possible future. No single question type should dominate. That means you should know how to mix them up. No single question type. It's better to use a range of questions to encourage a natural conversation rather than an interrogation. So don't make it look as if you are interrogating the person. You may throw in closed-ended question, you may throw in open-ended question, you may throw in, a probing question, you may throw in an hypothetical questions, you may throw in indirect questions. So it will look as if you are just having conversation together. So no single question type should dominate. It is better to use a range of questions that encourage a natural conversation rather than an interrogation. Social work can be demanding. Social work can be a demanding industry that requires working with people with diverse needs. Individuals in these fields must develop a unique skill set to excel in workplace. Learning about this requires skills that help you determine your social work abilities and areas that need improvement. Employment in the field is growing fast. That is why you see many people. I don't know how many of you in this class are social workers, that you have your background in social work. How many of you have a background in social work?
I do.
I do.
I do.
Ms. Akobi, what is your area?
I do, sir.
Okay, Ms. Akobi, first, what did you do your first degree?
Social work. English.
That's a good one.
Then at MSc level, adult education social welfare.
Okay, that's a good one. You are a social worker. You are not stealing our certificate.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Madam Falashade, you said you have background too?
Yes.
What's your field?
MSc social work, BSc social work, and PhD in social work now.
Oh, so now social worker food this house. That's a good one. Because what we are seeing now is that many people from law, English, different background are just pursuing social work as if there's no other course for them to pursue. And that's why we need to hold it firmly so that they will not push us out. Although many of them who are coming to do social work, they are doing it because they want to japa. But I'm telling you, there are so many opportunities, even outside the country, for social workers. Although Nigeria is coming up, had it been the government that's giving us what we actually need, and thank God for the Chartered Institute of Social Work Practitioners of Nigeria, because they're the one relating with the government at the meso level. You know, there are 3 levels of social work. We have the micro level, we have the macro level, then we have the macro level. The micro, the meso, and the macro level. Dealing with individual, that could be micro. Dealing with the family, that is micro. So when you enter into organization, companies, dealing with group of people, you have entered the level of meso. You get it? But when you enter the level of macro, that has to do with policy implementation, policy changes. So, and that is what the Chartered Institute is doing, you know, where we don't have voice at that apex level, at the macro level. It is the Chartered Institute that is doing that for us. We see many people who are just coming, you say, I want to do PGD in social work. After that, I want to do MSc in social work. The next thing, they are traveling out. So that is fine. All of us here are social workers. So employment in the field is going fast. For example, the United States Bureau of Labor Statistics, BLS, predict job will grow 9% by 2031, faster than the average for all occupations. Can you imagine? Faster than any occupation. About 74,700 openings for social workers are projected each year. You can see Nigerians are traveling out. They are relocating because opportunities are available for them, are bound for them. Because there is virtually any area that social workers will not work. There is no area, although we've not yet given them their rightful place in Nigeria. I don't know where you people are working, but you know that we need industrial social workers in every organization. Even when you have social workers who are working, the industrial social workers are the social workers for other social workers. I don't know if you understand that. Thank God we have social workers in the house. We need industrial social workers. Even in hospitals where we have medical social workers, you have clinical social workers, you need an industrial social workers who is there to fight for the right of those social workers. I don't know if we have in any organization in Nigeria. The only place you see industrial social worker working in Nigeria, they're in the university, lecturers. But ideally in practice, we need them. In developed world, we have them working in different organizations. So we are getting to that place where social workers will be given their rightful position in our society. You can see the projection here. The 74,700 openings for social workers are projected each year on average over the decade. Social work skills include soft skills such as organization and communication. We've talked about all this before. Communication and technical skills directly related to the job, like claims evaluation. Social workers develop these skills through education, training, and experience. They should continually practice and improve their skills to keep up with job demand. You just have to continue. Like all of you are here now. Somebody here, PhD, she's here. Yes. And she has some people she'll be teaching in the class too. But then knowledge is everywhere. And no man is an island. Virtually, there's something I'm saying here that is new to her, but she's still here. You get it? Anybody can pass information to you. Anybody can give you information. So don't say who is that person that is talking. So that is just it. Social work is a profession committed to helping individuals and communities work through challenges they encounter in everyday life. Social workers are employed in various settings to advocate for and improve lives. They may work with general population or specialized in areas such as mental health, children or veterans. Their roles can be very beneficial to others as well as for themselves. A social worker helps individuals, families, and communities. This just talk about the 3 levels. Okay, these just 2 levels. Individuals and family can fall under micro level. Then you come to communities. This can as well come under macro level. Across valuable resources to improve their health and well-being. Depending on your social work specialty, you may have various responsibilities and work in different industries, such as education, health, healthcare, and government. Understanding more about this job can help you determine whether this career path is right for you. A social worker helps individuals and families improve their quality of life by ensuring access to basic needs and advocating for an individual's human rights. You are an advocate. They promote social change and empower their clients. Social workers help the people they work with by analyzing the environment, relationship, systems, and policies that impact their lives. In you making your intervention decision, you need to understand the environment, the relationship, the system, the policies that are in place before you can make your decision. Because you cannot make your decision in isolation from all this. Common challenges that social workers guide their clients through include poverty, child abuse, unemployment, mental illness, drug addiction, and trauma. Social workers build relationships based on trust and compassion. They identify the issues their clients are experiencing and implement solutions such as physical relocation, therapy, or employment assistance. So like I said, looking at different levels of practice in social work, levels of social work. We said we have micro, meso, and macro. We have micro, meso, and macro. Here are 3 levels of social work you can pursue in career. To me, I strongly believe that it is even progressive. You may need to start with macro practice, then progress to meso, then progress to macro. So the least area you can start with is as a micro social worker or at the micro social work level. Micro social work involves working with individuals, couples, families, and other small groups to help resolve challenges with mental health and problematic behavior. These social workers can work in an agency where a physician may observe their counseling sections and prescribe medication to the client based on their situation and condition. Micro social workers may also establish their own private practice. Like you have private medical doctors, you can have your own private practice too. Then we also have meso social work. Meso social work. The meso social work is done at the group level, attending to, maybe you are invited to a company, industry, a group of industries, let's say, okay, when we talk about industry, is a combination of firms. Like we talk about education industry. So this talk about education in all different schools, different levels. That's all of them fall under education industry. When you talk about communication industry, so you can talk about different of them, MTN, all of them belong to that. So it's an industry, is an umbrella name for people who engage in the same business. So maybe when an industry invites you, maybe communication industry where you have different, kind of firm coming together, and you are talking or you are addressing them at that level, that could be seen as a meso, practice. You are operating at meso level. Meso level. When social work is done at the group level, these social workers usually conduct group sections rather than individual counseling, like working with family groups. This level uses a mixed method model, which means they use their social work and group skill in collaboration with their community work, administrative and evaluation abilities. Usually, these individuals work on multiple projects simultaneously, requiring strong attention to detail and multitasking skills. Let's take the last one for today, which is macro social work. When social workers have a career at the macro level, they are working with the community, government, or other large client systems. Their focus is on community organization, administration, and policy management. Macro social work main goal is to improve systemic challenges that impact large communities and cultures. I think we can call it quit at this point. I don't know if anybody has any question. Hello.
Well done, sir.
Thank you.
Well done, sir.
Yes, sir. I do,
That's
sir.
so much.
You said what?
Yes, I do, sir. I do, sir.
You have question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm hearing you, Mr. Yusuf Idris.
Thank you very much, sir. Actually, you have already touched some of my questions. So, but I will like you to guide us on this advocating area. You mentioned we can advocate for or against. In a situation whereby the government has already placed a policy on something that we want to advocate for, I believe that government is the one that usually give the policy
We
on
can't do
whatever
anything outside the policy.
We can't do anything outside the policy.
Yeah. Because
Exactly,
the same policy, you know what? The same policy is what is guiding your practice. Are you with me?
Okay. Yes, sir.
It is the same policy that is guiding your practice. Even what you think, even when you think that what you want to do is right,
Yes.
they will tell you it is against the policy.
Okay.
That is where the macro level social work practice comes in, to advocate for change.
Okay.
You know, we talk about 3 levels of practice.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's why I said you've
Micro,
touched
the
some of my
meso,
questions.
and we say when we come to the level
The
of
meso
macro,
and the micro, yes, because
that is when we begin to advocate for changes.
Yes.
When you think that what they are doing, what the policy is saying is not in support, then we advocate for change.
Exactly. Okay.
Sir, please,
Yes, definitely, sir. And another question, sir.
Okay, sir.
You mentioned under the ethical consideration where we got to the point of dilemma. So in the case of confidentiality, where we all believe that in Nigeria, gay is not allowed, and someone that I believe that is a gay and now comes to my agency that maybe maybe someone reports or in whichever way. So how do I address such case so far that I want to I believe it is not something that's supposed to be pronounced generally. So how do I handle such case in order not to derail from my ethical professional? And
The first
the
thing you
dilemma
need to know,
that is confidentiality.
sir, the issue is that ignorance is not an excuse before the law. And the law of the Federal Republic of Nigeria says that gay or homosexualism is not permitted in Nigeria.
Yes.
So you trying to cover or advocate for somebody who is working against the constitution of the country, make you an accomplice of that crime. You are only participating or partaking in the crime of another person. Because it is against the law of the land. You can't do anything outside the law of the land.
Well, that is the dilemma I'm trying to point out. I just use that as an example.
But it is
How
true.
do I?
No. You, in fact, as a true Nigerian, such case should be reported. But because the person has come to you, I'm telling you the truth. Because if it is found out and you are holding on to it, you are also promoting that. You are promoting it. The law of the land says it is not permitted, and somebody is telling you, I'm a gay, but don't let people know. Because it is inimical to the well-being of people around the person. The next person might be your own family. That person can lure somebody in your family to become a gay too. It takes only one rotten mango to spoil a basket full. I believe you know that.
Yes, sir.
So that's why you say you need to understand the policy that is in place wherever you find yourself. If you move out of the shore of Nigeria, you go to UK, you go to US, where such is permitted, then you practice where. So that's why you need to understand the policy wherever you find yourself. I was telling my student in the class last week that if you just enter the shore of Ghana today, it is assumed that you know every single constitution of Ghana. That is just it. Because if you go against any one of them, I don't know, it's not an excuse. Ignorance is not an excuse before the law. It is the law of Ghana that we judge, not the law of Nigeria. So I don't know, it's not an excuse. It is assumed that you know. Before you go to any country, you need to understand the fundamental law of that country. For example, Lagos State, driving in Lagos State is highly, what's it called now? The last mile there at every point. So you are coming for the first time, you are driving in Lagos. Are you going to tell last mile, please, so this is your first time driving in Lagos? Would they listen to that?
No, they will not.
It is assumed that you know the law, you know the driving law in Lagos. You can say, honestly, this is my first time of driving in Lagos. I don't know it's not Lila. You pay that money in Alausa. You get to Alausa. Do you understand that, sir?
Clearly, sir. Clearly, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Another question, sir.
I'm waiting, sir.
This question speaks about the culture.
Okay, sir.
You said when you are in another location where their culture is totally different with yours. For instance, maybe you are Yoruba tribe, and let's use Lagos as an example, where we have diverse of different people.
Yes, sir.
Now that I have Igbo or Hausa as my client, and I can't speak their language, and this is Yoruba land. How do I resolve that in what is it called, in my own what is it called?
Yeah. Translate.
Do I need to refer, or do I need to refer, or do I need to get someone?
You may need to get a translator. You may need to get a translator. You may need to get somebody that will translate or interpret for you exactly what the person is saying. Member, that is your name here. Please mute your mic. Member, mute your mic, please. Mute your mic, member. Oh my God. Okay, let me mute her from here. Okay, Mr. Idris, I'm listening to you, sir.
That's just the question, sir, that about the culture.
Yes, sir. You may
conflicts.
need to get a translator or somebody that will interpret for the person and both of you, who will be a middleman for both of you. You understand? And again, if the person understands preaching or anyhow that you know you can communicate well, because there is no way you have an interpreter, one iota might be missing in interpretation. You get it?
Yes,
but
yes.
If the person is living in Lagos and is from different tribe, at least you understand English. If the person cannot speak English, he can speak pidgin English. Just find a level where you can
the area where I'm concentrating at is the area of culture, because the issue might go beyond the level of maybe, for instance, there was a case.
Yes, sir. I got your point. Okay, Mr. Yusuf.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Yusuf.
Yes, sir.
The way to help yourself in that situation is not to enforce your own culture on another person. For example, if a Yoruba person is expected to greet, a child is expected to kneel down, a child is expected to prostrate, male and female, you understand? At times you shake hand. You must know if this is an Hausa girl or this is a Muslim. You don't extend hand, you don't shake hand. There are little things you need to know about diverse culture. I'm not Igbo, but at least I'm not Hausa, but there are some things that I know about them. You get it? There are some things you need to know. In this field, you are not meant to just sit down on Yoruba culture. Even you need to just understand, even if it is their greetings, you get it? You need to understand some things about them. You get it? If you come into my office and you are Igbo and I say Ndewo, you know, in fact, that will help you to open up to me that, okay, this guy is not even tribalistic. He's even greeting me in my own language. You already watch the ground for the person, that the person is welcome. You get it? So you don't need to be rigid, like we said. If you understand their greetings, how are you, Inakwana, Yaya Agida, Yaya Mata, oh no, those, not that you are conversing in Hausa with the person, but that make that person feel at home to open up to you. At least get little of other people's culture, at least for you to help your profession too, and help your career. I think that's okay.
What I'm saying is this. We have a case like the lady she's from Kano State.
Okay.
And the lady she ran from home simply because they want to forcefully get her married. Are you with me, sir?
Okay.
So she now ran to Lagos. And in Lagos, we have to now we now call the family. We intervene to the matter, and we discover that actually the lady she want to further her study. She didn't have the intention to get married. She's around 17 years of age, and according to their own law, they can get married at any age. So now, as it is now, she's in Lagos already. Do I have to work on my own? So far that I'm not in their own state, do I have to work? Do we have to work related to our own law or their own law?
Thank you so much. I now know where you are coming from.
Yes.
Listen, even in the north, you said that girl is 17.
Yes.
She's even old. She's old. Their culture is a girl is not expected to have a second menstrual cycle in her father's house. Do you get that point?
Yes, sir.
She's not expected to have a second menstrual cycle in her father's house. And if you see the age at which female children are starting their menstrual cycle, that means a girl of 10, 9, 11 that has started menstruation.
Even 8, sir.
The second one, she's expected to do that in her husband's house. And that's why they've been having VVF. I mentioned VVF the other time.
Yes.
That's why they've been having VVF. You get it? Because the license to pregnancy is menstrual cycle. If a girl of 8 starts menstruating today, she can be pregnant. That's the license to pregnancy. And now looking at their culture, which says a child should be married, if you take that case to court, that girl will win.
That girl will win.
That girl will win because she's a minor. And no matter what they are practicing, you know, I don't know why the federal government is still permitting that madness. This is a country, and some people are telling you that they are practicing Sharia. And we have Nigerian constitution. I think we need to put an end to that. But they have Sharia law, which is based on religion. But if they take that case to court, if they go to their Sharia court, that girl might lose.
Okay.
Yeah, because that is Sharia law, and she might be judged in their Sharia court. But what is in Sharia court? The Sharia court has nothing to do with National House of Assembly. It is based on religion. But if that girl wants to be judged, if she says she doesn't believe in Sharia court, they can take that case to normal court. And in that court, the girl will win. She's a minor. And that will lead to child marriage, which is against the United Nations Convention. That is child marriage. She's 17.
Yes.
If you remember, they just passed into law in Nigeria that anybody who has anything to do with a minor will be sentenced to life imprisonment. Have you heard of that?
Yes.
That's a good one. That's very good.
So, be sentenced to life imprisonment.
Beautiful.
You get it? So that girl is fighting for her right, and as a social worker, you can advocate for her right because she's a minor.
But what if I did not have the resources to do that? What should I do, sir?
Are you the one handling the case or your agency? Is that an individual thing?
I discovered that the agency actually is the government. But sometimes the government, they are not taking matters. I don't know how to, confidentiality. I don't know how to say it.
I got your point. So
yes, sir.
That is what we are still praying for. So let's take the matter to the macro level where we can talk about policy implementation or policy changes. But I'm telling you, the ideal thing should be done. That should be done is that girl should go to court, she will win because she's a minor. And no minor is expected to be forced to marry.
Yes.
If she's 17, she's a minor. Is that gotten?
I think the last question is.
I'm hearing you. Hello, Mr. Yusuf.
Can you hear me, sir?
I'm hearing you. You mute your mic now. You mute yourself.
Okay. Hello, sir.
Okay, I'm hearing you.
I noticed that this kind of social work profession is a very broad something.
Okay. I'm listening now.
What is it called? Maybe so that an individual will know the actual area of specialization. Hello, sir.
Okay, I'm hearing you.
Did you get that question?
Do you have second degree?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In which field?
Science, sir.
No, you are a stranger here. So when I was talking, that's why you didn't talk. When I was talking about people who have come to steal our certificates, you didn't talk.
Actually, I'm not here to steal the certificate. I work where I'm working currently. That's why he said I need to further.
Experiential knowledge, I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. And that's why Even after now, you may need, this is a SWPCE, you may need to do PGD in social work, then you can obtain masters too. At least
Actually, I've done that. I've done that already.
Okay, you have your masters already in social work.
Yes, sir.
So you are one of us now. You only mentioned science. You didn't tell me you have your master in social work. That's a good one. That's a good one. So like I said, at different level, we advocate at different level. And like we said, we have 3 types of levels in social work. We have the micro level, the meso level, and the macro level. So when you're talking about policy implementation and for government to look into what we are doing, you can see now that you have the ideal thing to be done, but you are incapacitated to do such ideal thing because of the policy we found ourselves. So we continue. This is where advocacy is needed now.
Okay.
This is where we need to, put more effort on advocacy, because those children, like that girl you are talking about, she's at your mercy. She's at the mercy of your agency. And what she's saying is right, but when she doesn't have a voice, and social worker needs to speak for her. Social worker needs to speak for her. Your agency needs to speak for her. That is it. She's a minor. She's 17. If that case is taken, there are okay, this is another area. We talk about referral in this class. I've mentioned referral, where you can, resources that are available. There are agencies that can take up the case for her. Just look for that. There are agencies like FIBA. FIBA can take up the case for her.
FIBA?
Yeah, there are agencies that can take up the case for her.
Can you help me to spell the FIBA?
Who is talking there?
FIBA.
They can take up, there are agencies. That's why we need to know the agencies, the referral we can make to help our clients. You just refer her, and they have offices all over Nigeria. They can take up the case for her. If your agency is not ready to do that, give her a referral. Give her a referral. They will take up the case. They fight for women. They fight for women. That's just it. They will take up the case for her. So that's why you also need to be. That's why you need to have the knowledge of those agencies around you that can provide assistance to your client. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any other person?
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, Great Wing Initiative. Your hand is up. Oh, yeah, now. Great Wing.
Yes, good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. You've spoken quite a lot, and your explanation was very, very detailed.
Thank you, sir.
I just have a little question to ask, sir.
Okay, sir.
In the case of cultural competence,
okay,
I have my first degree in social work, BSc.
Okay.
So I am specialized in forensic social work.
Okay.
So few weeks ago, I think last week, I had a case in the state division headquarters, Asaba State Division headquarters, where I had 4 clients that were alleged for a land persecution matter. But the thing there is, in these four persons, they were between the age of 40 to 65, and the elderly man among them, his English was not so clear. So when the case came to our agency, I had to rush down to the station accompanied by a lawyer. And I was there, I was standing in as the mediator between my client and the law enforcement, the policemen. So the guy was actually using our local dialect here in Delta State to explain what was happening to me, what happened to me, so I could translate to the police officer getting a statement down. But I think the policeman is an ethic man. So at some point he said no, he doesn't want a translator again. He wants the man to state what is going on, because he felt like the communication, there was a barrier between my client, myself, and translating the messages to him. So in that kind of setting, sir, what the advice I do, because my clients would not speak English properly, is pidgin was not really correlating with the other person's story. Then that was why he was trying to use our local dialect.
Well, since the police officer was not pleased with your with you interpreting or translating what your client was saying, then the police officer should have provided his own translator, because your client could not speak English clearly, and in an attempt to to explain himself using English language, how will I put it now?
Contradict
Cost
them.
himself that case. So maybe when next you are going, let the police understand that your client don't understand English. Then the police should provide a translator. So let him have his own translator. So if you are saying anything your client never said, so his own translator, we interject and say that is not what you are saying. Is the police officer not from Delta too? Hello?
No, sir, he's an ethic man.
And so let him provide, or somebody among them who can translate for him. Because in an attempt for your client to speak English, it may also, cost himself the case. Maybe when you are going to the station, when you have an appointment with them, they should provide their own translator. Or you should look for somebody. Is it the investigating police officer, IPO?
Yes, sir, the IPO.
So let him get just to make his own case, to make his own job easy, to let him get a translator. And to make your case easier. Because you cannot force your client to speak the language he or she doesn't understand. Is that okay?
Yes, sir, thank you.
You're welcome.
Excuse me, sir.
Madam
Please.
Loretta, I'm here.
Good evening, sir. Thank you
evening,
very much for your lecture.
Thank you.
Your everything you said was self-explanatory.
Thank you,
I enjoyed every bit of it. I understood more. I just want to ask that, can we get this handout? Because
honestly,
I would like to have a copy of it to go through on my own.
I know that's what you are going to.
Because I've learned so many things here.
Madam Loretta.
Sir?
I know that is where you are going to. Honestly. Only that I didn't want to interrupt you. Honestly. I know that is your question. With the way you started, I know that's where you are going to.
No, sir, like I work with refugees and
where are you based?
Abuja.
ABJ. It's a promise, yes, you will get it.
Thank you very much, sir.
I will post it on the platform, you get it.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Can we call it quit till next class?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. Thank you very much. The next one we meet.
Thank you very much, sir.
Enjoy the rest of the weekend.
All right, sir.
Bye.
You too, sir. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.